From his upbringing as a foundling to his ongoing adventures with the affectionately nicknamed Baby Yoda, Din Djarin is familiar with staring death in the face and somehow coming out alive on the other end. We saw many of these moments in Season 1 of The Mandalorian, and we're going to take a look at these close calls in this video. And don't forget to use the Force and hit that like button. And if this is your first visit here, smash that subscribe button and press the bell icon to get notified on new Mandalorian and Star Wars videos. Din Djarin's first brush with death came when he was a child. Separatist B-2 battle droids invaded his hometown during the galactic conflict known as the Clone Wars. Din's family fled the chaos eventually, leading their young son away and stashing him in an underground bunker. Saying a brief goodbye, Din slowly crept into the hole and reached out, seeing his parents for the last time. Barely closing the door, his father and mother were gunned down. The same B-2 super battle droid that had just murdered his parents opened the bunker door and stared blankly down at the boy. Its red sensors homing in on the target, the droid raised its wrist blaster, and Din bowed his head, accepting his fate. Miraculously, a member of the Mandalorian splinter group known as the Death Watch blasted the droid to pieces, saving Din from the same grim fate as his parents. More and more Mandalorians rained down from the sky. All armed with T-shaped helmets, jetpacks, and blasters, they drove off the invading Separatist forces. Din, now a helpless orphan, was taken in by these heroic Mandalorians and became a foundling, thus starting him down the path of the Mandalorian. Some years passed until Din Djarin, now known as Mando, had another close call. In Chapter 2, Mando ran into some trouble with Jawas. In order to resolve the issue, he needed to retrieve a Mudhorn egg. Unaware of the immense strength of Mudhorns, the naive bounty hunter went into the creature's cave unprepared. The gigantic beast threw him out of the den as the child helplessly watched from his orb. Din Djarin fought bravely, but he was outmatched. His flamethrower was rendered ineffective against the ferocity of the animal. Out of options, the Mandalorian shot his whipcord at the beast, causing it to run rampant, dragging Din behind. The Mudhorn threw him in the air for the final time as Din landed on his back in front of the child. Clearly bested by the menacing beast, the devout Mandalorian composed himself, rose to his knees, removed his vibroblade, and prepared for a glorious warrior's death. Before the Mudhorn could deal the final blow, it stopped and was now suspended in the air by some mystical force. Din Djarin looked back in awe as the small green child had his hand raised, controlling the Mudhorn. Seizing the moment, Mando slid his vibroblade into the beast and quickly ended the contest. Mando would later recall that it wasn't a noble kill, and that he was helped by an enemy that would later become a foundling. In Chapter 4, Mando and the child were now on the run from his fellow guildmates, after Mando had saved Baby Yoda from the Imperial remnant. Seeking refuge on the planet Sorgan, they came across Cara Dune, a former shock trooper for the New Republic. Together, the two defended a small community of krill farmers from a group of raiders. This caused quite a bit of noise and drew the attention of a bounty hunter who was searching for Din and the child. Grateful for their service, the farmers allowed Din and his friends to stay. Feeling that the child was safe, Mando decided to leave him behind to be cared for by these new friends. As he was on his way out, Omera, a widow whom he had grown close with, asked him to stay and placed her hands on his helmet to remove it, unaware of the bounty hunter sniper aiming right at Din's head. Fortunately, he stopped her without realizing he had just saved his own life. Frustrated, the bounty hunter sniper turned his sight to the child and aimed right at him. Thankfully, Cara had been patrolling and noticed the danger lurking in the forest, blasting him before any harm could come to them. Now, knowing the area wasn't secure, the Mandalorian reluctantly left and took the child with him. It was a sad goodbye, but a necessary one in order to survive. Another moment of certain doom came in the Season 1 finale. Back on Navarro, trying to escape the clutches of Moff Gideon, an Imperial ISB agent, Mando and his comrades were outnumbered and outgunned. Dozens of stormtroopers and an E-Web cannon surrounded the already crumbling cantina. Desperate to save his friends, and with the help of an unlikely droid ally, IG-11, Mando sprang into action, blaster fire ricocheting off of his Beskar steel armor, and engaged the Imperial forces on the ground. He eventually made his way to the E-Web and opened fire on the Imperials. Moff Gideon had other plans and fired a single shot into the E-Web's power generator. The explosion blew Mando back, slamming his head on the ground, knocking him unconscious. Cara Dune dragged his limp body out of harm's way, back into the crumbling cantina. Seriously injured, fire now encompassed them as a flame trooper raised his weapon and unleashed its full might, only to be stopped by the powerful hands of Baby Yoda. The child's hands raised as high as his little limbs could reach and held back the flames. With a flick of the wrist, the flame trooper was sent back in a ball of fire. Mando looked at his foundling in complete surprise and wonder. This was now the second time that this powerful, adorable little creature had saved his life. With the help of some Bacta, courtesy of IG-11, the group was finally able to escape. A warrior's death is the highest honor for a Mandalorian, and Din Djarin has come closer more times than most. From Death Watch to Baby Yoda, Cara Dune to Omera, Mando has surrounded himself with people that will make sure he sees another day. And in return, he will always do the same for them. This is the way. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and push the bell icon to be notified of upcoming videos. See you next time, and may the Force be with you, always.